What is the right time? Walk when it's great to crawl. Play when it's great to write. What is the right time? To be a born talent. To be a future champion. To walk alone. Playing under 16 at 12. Facing 20,000 balls with a half-grown spine. What is the right time? Too little to be selected. Too talented to be rejected. The papers, selectors all asking, what is the right time? The right time, it's when you do it. They say you're too young to play, but you're always old enough to dream.
Don't worry about what the future will look like. Just prepare for it. Fearless plans from Aegis Federal Life Insurance help you and your family prepare for the future.
Welcome to a very special interview of a very special man. 75 years. We talk about Indian cricket today. We celebrate the current stars. Yes, there were stars before, C.K. Naidu, Vijay Merchant. But the man who gave Indian cricket teeth and muscle made us believe that we can. In the 1970s, in 71, 774, 154.8, here's the person we are celebrating his 75th birthday. My hero, a hero to every one of us who follow cricket in this country. Sunil Gavaskar, welcome. Thank you very much for your time. Happy 75th birthday.
Thank you very much, Boria. What can I say excepting thank from the bottom of my heart all the well-wishers who have been with me throughout my cricketing career and who have given their love and affection over the years. So that's been really my blessing to have received the love and affection of so many cricket fans throughout my career. And even now, even after I finish playing cricket, that is truly a blessing from God above.
Two parts to this interview, Sunny bhai. One, Sunil Gavaskar, the cricketer. Two, Sunil Gavaskar, the commentator and the writer, who has become a part of our lives in another way, because we consume you every day. Before I get into the two parts, something that people don't know about, because you don't talk much about, are the foundations that you do, and you're doing tremendous work for society. Because you are not one of those who will tom it. But today is one day where I am forced to ask you this. Can you please tell me about these two foundations and the kind of work you are doing? Because it is very important for society at large to know. So I know you don't want to, and this is not any push, but please tell us a little bit.
Thanks, Boria. Yes, I'm involved with a couple of foundations. One is the Heart to Heart Foundation, which is creating awareness of children born with congenital heart defects. Now, that is a very serious issue in India because more than 300,000 children are born in India with CHD, congenital heart defects. And what the Heart to Heart Foundation is doing is raising funds, creating awareness, raising funds to enable totally free of cost surgeries for these children, because the children come from financially challenged sector of our society, from the interiors, children of daily wages, so who cannot afford the expensive surgery that will get their child back to full fitness and a healthy life. In conjunction with Sai Sanjeevani hospitals, we have been trying to do that, where at these hospitals, totally free of cost surgery is given to everybody. The parents are looked after in an annex while their child is undergoing, earlier examination and then the procedure. And this is my third innings. And to be honest with you, this is the most fulfilling, because when you come out and see the faces of the parents, the worried parents, the faces of the parents when the doctors come and tell that the procedure has been successful. And at the Sai Sanjeevani hospitals, our success rate is over 99%. So when the faces of the parents, change from despair, dejection to, hope, and then, relief, and then tears of joy, I tell you, that is a greater high than scoring a double century for India. So that is that's what I'm involved with, and I got involved with it because it gives the children a proper healthy life, and it resonated with me because in my debut game I was batting on 12, and the greatest of them all, Garfield Sobers, dropped an absolute sitter when I was on 12. That gave me a second cricketing life. I got a half century, kept my place in the team for the next test. Again, in that next test, he gave me a life, and I went on to early when I was 4 or 5, and I went on to get my first test century. So another second cricketing life was given. So that's why this cause resonates with me. So that's one foundation that I'm involved with. And the other one's been older, much older. We completed 25 years. CHAMPS Foundation. And the CHAMPS is the acronym for Caring, Helping, Assisting, Motivating, Promoting Sports Persons. And we have been sending monthly checks to all those international sports persons who have given their everything to the country during their younger days to try and bring glory in sport, and who sadly have not been in the best of financial health. So we are trying to help them. As soon as we come to know, we do our due diligence, and that's another thing which is giving me, a lot of joy in being able to help, to do something for a fellow sports person.
I asked you this question at the very start of this because I wanted people to know that on your birthday, this is something that people hardly talk about. So, and it's straight from the heart, because I've been aware of this, have spoken to you multiple times in the past, so it deserved a celebration. When I look back now, Sunny Bhai, 75 years of Sunil Gavaskar, for me, I was born in 1976. My understanding of cricket was shaped by you. 1983, that 29th 100, then going past Sir Donald Bradman, then that 1987 100 in the ODIs, and then reading as a scholar of sport the 1971 series. In fact, in front of me, I have all the paper cuttings open. Do you now look back 774? Did you ever think that Sunil Gavaskar bursting into the scene scores 774, that first match in St. Kitts? I was reading K.N. Prabhu's dispatches, but there on that series, making the whole world say, come on. Imran Khan said Indians don't play pace bowling, and here's one man who redefines all of that. How do you look back at this kind of a career?
With wonder. I don't often look back, but when sometimes, I do, somebody like you brings back old memories, I look back in wonder, because, how does one explain something like that? It was just, an extraordinary blessing for me. Like I said, Gary Sobers dropping you twice in your first 2 test matches is amazing. And in the previous game, he had taken an amazing catch, the game that I didn't play, the first test match. He'd taken an amazing catch to get rid of Kenya Jayantilal. Kenya Jayantilal was a very, very fine player, but he never played for India again. So I guess it's got to be all fate. It's all fated. So just blessed to have been able to do that, and blessed to be here.
And when I see your career, and the 221, for example, BBC had that video cassette, which when I was a student, I used to buy those video cassettes, and every time I would be depressed, I would put that video cassette on and Sunil Gavaskar would give me a high. So, and you're in England at this point in time, and hence the question. Every time we were challenged, if I had to ask somebody to bat for my life, I would say, come on, Sunil Gavaskar, and I'm saved. Talk to me about that, Sunny Bhai, because knowing you is a privilege, and have come to know you better. You've been there for me even in my worst times. Both of us know it. And you've backed me through and through. You always believed in me. So when I celebrate you, it's something different, not just a cricketer. So talk to me about the 221. Talk to me about the World Cup win, because that's another major step. If I say 71 is one step, 1983 is another, that fulfills Sunil Gavaskar.
Totally. I think that's the greatest moment of my cricketing career. That India won the World Cup in 1983. It still gives me a high just thinking about it. Just like the recent World Cup. I'm still in orbit. I keep saying people say you're over the moon. I said no, I'm not over the moon. I'm still in orbit because I want to stay in that orbit as Indian cricket goes on to win more and more trophies. And this Indian team is perfectly capable of doing that. Look at the consistency with which we played the last World Cup. We might have lost in the finals, but we won everything before that. And then again over here, didn't lose a single game, didn't lose a single match in 2024. That just tells you how good this Indian team is, how good this Indian squad is. So it's a real high. And 1983 was, we started off not knowing where we would be, but that first game against the West Indies, which we won, that gave us the belief that yes, we could do it, because we're now playing in England. We had the bowling attack more than anything else. We had the bowling attack to get the opposition out. The one and only couple there was Madan Lal, there was Roger Binney, Balwinder Singh Sandhu, you name it, and there was Kirti Azad to provide a bit of spin. Ravi Shastri, who didn't play in the last couple of games, but they were all there. We had a very well-balanced team, lots of all-rounders who could bat down the order as well. So yes, I think we had a very good team, and it's a high. We got out for 183, and Kapil said in the everybody said a little bit over there, but Kapil said, look, we've reached the finals. Let's go out and enjoy. Let's fight. Let's go out and give it our everything, and let's enjoy the game. And that's what we did. Because if you would have seen, even though they got off to a little bit of a start, there was a little partnership between, I think, Haynes and Greenwich. Our shoulders were still up there. We were never really down. We always believed that we're having fun out there in front of so many people. The final, I mean, how many people get the chance to be in the final of a World Cup?
Sunny bhai, World Cup win, yes, and it's one of your greatest highs. But another one, which is as good for me as a World Cup win, which again, people don't talk about much, is 85. Because color television, I had started to grow up. My imagination got shaped because of that. That ODI team, the 50-over team, can compare with any team. I mean, and your captaincy, leaving, captaincy on a high, taking that microphone in Australia, Ravi winning that Audi. So tell me about that, because that's also a big part. I mean, maybe not as much as the 83 victory it is celebrated, but for me, it is as much an important milestone in Indian cricket.
Yes, I think just before that, we didn't have a very good series against England. We lost the Test series 2-1, and then we lost the one-day series as well. So we were not in a good space when we left for Melbourne, and the matches were only in Sydney and Melbourne, because it was celebration of the state of Victoria's 150 years. So the World Championship of Cricket was being played for that. And our first game was against the Pakistanis, and when we beat the Pakistanis, gave us loads of confidence again. And from there, I don't think we'll look back. I do believe, even if I could be corrected, people will argue. I do believe that that 85 team, in terms of the batting talent and the all-round ability, was probably just a shade better than the 1983 World Cup team. And it, as you said earlier on, it would probably rank as amongst the best one-day teams that India has produced over the last few decades.
I have written in my book that the 1985 team could well challenge the 2011 team. That it would have been a fantasy cricket match between Sunil Gavaskar's side and MS Dhoni's side.
Yes, I think that really would be a very, very good game. Though I would like to think that the 2011 boys, having played a lot more one-day cricket and having a lot more experience, would maybe just beat us off the last ball of the 100th over.
Now, Sunil Gavaskar, the commentator, because again, the perception by the way, you've also served as BCCI, functionary during the Supreme Court time. You've served as consultant of Indian cricket. You've been, part of the coaching establishment. So there's not one box tick that Sunil Gavaskar has not done for Indian cricket. I needed to put that on record. But obviously, I consume his columns. I consume his pieces. I read his books. And of course, I listen to him on a daily basis. Sunny bhai, 1985, Sunil Gavaskar as captain, 2024, Rohit Sharma as captain. I was hugely impressed with Rohit's captaincy in 23 and 24. As a commentator, can you put it in perspective for our fans? Because it's very, very important coming from you on your birthday.
Well, I think Rohit's got a way about him, which is, where he makes people around him feel comfortable. Sometimes he's got that, if I might use the word, the Bambaiya, laconic style of talking. Are kya kar raha hai? What is this? Which might be a mild sort of reprimand to a player, a mild bit of teasing of a player, but making the teammate aware that he needs to pull up his socks. So I think he, sometimes I think I was a very intense captain. And sometimes, when you're a very intense captain, and I was an intense cricketer, because for me, playing for India was no joke. Playing for India was a huge, huge responsibility. So I never took anything lightly. I never took anything for granted when I was playing for India, whether as a player or as a captain. So one can be intense and therefore put a little pressure on the players, because one, as a captain, is intense. But you need somebody like an MS Dhoni. You need somebody like a Rohit Sharma. Who makes the players feel very comfortable. So, like I keep saying, there are some captains for whom it's a pleasure to perform, and then there are some captains for whom it's pressure to perform. I think Rohit Sharma belongs to that category of, and Rohit Sharma, Dhoni belong to that category of pleasure to perform. I was probably one of those under whom it was pressure to perform.
Last two questions, because I know you've got lots going on with your 75th birthday. One thing that defines Sunil Gavaskar is Test cricket. The other high, 1981. That Melbourne Test match. Again, all of the poor umpiring and all of that in the background. Test match cricket, West Indies, England, Australia. You have even Pakistan. You've defined our Test batting. We've beaten Australia twice in 2 years. World Test Championship final, we've made it twice. Do you reckon this team now has the ability to win the World Test Championship under Rohit Sharma? Can we do it 3 times in Australia?
No doubt about it, because this team is really a superb team. Look at the opening options that the team has got. The middle order, there is a middle order so good, so solid middle order, and there is also, and I'm kind of hoping that in these next 2 months, there will be some effort made to try and convince Hardik Pandya to come back to Test cricket, because if he comes into the Indian team batting at 6 or 7 at the Test level, maybe bowling just 10 overs in a day, but there with his batting, this Indian team will be pretty much invincible in any country on any kind of surface.
Final question. You've ticked every box, as I said, as a cricketer, as what you are giving back in your 3rd innings, as a commentator and a writer. Anything, Sunny bhai, that sort of still Sunil Gavaskar wants to do for Indian cricket, wants to do that, that any little thing? And finally, what are the celebration plans? I know you're in London, but what are the plans for 75th?
75th, I have no idea at the moment. It's going to be, I guess, like another day. I guess friends will be calling, friends will be, dropping in, families. Some of the families here, not the entire family is here. So we'll probably go out for a meal somewhere. So that is, I think, really the plan at the moment. Nothing major.
Okay, and I want to put this on record. This is a request which I made, I think, 3 months back, that 75 years, it will continue for us at Revsportz 1 whole year. And tomorrow, on the day, 10th of July, every piece that we are doing on Revsportz, I think about 7 or 8 pieces are on Mr. Gavaskar. We are doing a documentary on Sunny bhai. We are putting out this interview. It's a celebration of Sunil Gavaskar. That's what we are doing all day, because it's much deserved. And we want to kickstart our conclave, and I'm putting this on record. I want to kickstart our conclave in 2025 on day 1, Sunil Gavaskar at 75. Provided you don't have commentary commitments, you've promised me that you will come. So on that note, Sunny bhai, absolutely, admire you, respect you, love you for everything that you've done for us, for India, for Indian cricket. So may God give you an unbeaten century, because we still need to consume Mr. Gavaskar for 25 more years.
Thank you, Bori. And again, thank all those who are on your website, your channel. Thank them for their good wishes, and may their good wishes, hopefully they will continue to be not just with me and my family, but with Indian cricket and Indian sport. Because don't forget, this is the Olympic year.
Yes.
This is the Olympic year. So let
Are you going to come to Paris, Sunny bhai? Any plans?
Not at the moment, but you never know. I'm going to be going for the Major League Cricket, God willing, in next week for the 2nd leg of the Major League Cricket. And maybe after that, if I get a ticket, then I maybe at the moment I don't have a ticket for.
I'll give you a ticket for Neeraj's final. Please come.
Okay. Then let me know. Let's discuss this after this.
Done.
After this is done. Okay.
Done. Take care. And once again, on behalf of everybody at Revsportz, every fan, everyone who's a Sunil Gavaskar admirer, happy 75th birthday. God bless. Much love.
Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.